Okay, designing a training program. Now it is audible, ma'am, clearly? Ma'am, now it is audible clearly? Hello? अच्छा ठीक है. Okay, so designing a training program. So as I have, okay, I'm starting this again. So training program designing, why it is important? See, for example, I'm telling you, I'm just giving you an example of it. Remember that whenever you are planning for any program, okay, you need to prepare yourself. Okay, say for example, being a faculty, okay, I need to prepare myself. I need to prepare my subject. Okay, I need to prepare my each and every documents, not document, notes before I deliver my lecture. Okay, as I'm now taking my classes, okay, this is my responsibility and duty to make the homework, to do the homework. Okay, and according to that, I need to design my lecture. I need to design my PPTs. I need to design my notes, and then I deliver it to my students. Okay, the same way, the trainers who are train the employees, they have a responsibility of designing the program. Now, how this program being scheduled? There are a number of means features, a number of points are there you need to remember. Number one is, first of all, assessments. The assessment is one of the most important part. Okay, assessment is one of the most important part. Why? Just to identify the needs of the gaps, knowledge, skill, and the performance. Okay, say for example, being a trainer, I suppose, say for example, I am the trainer. Now I want to train some students or some employees. Now, first of all, my responsibility and my duty is to observe, need to make an assessment or do an assessment and find out where the particular gaps are there. I need to find it out. Where are the gaps are there? Okay, where the knowledge is lacking behind. What are the skills requirement and how to perform. Okay, and according to, after completing my assessment, then I go for the next. Then I can find it out where the student is lacking behind, irrespective of the trainings that I'm going to give it. First of all, I need to find out these gaps. Okay, what type of skill they required. Okay, say for example, let it make me more specific and clear. Say for example, I am taking the communication class. Say for example, I am being assigned to take the class of communication. Now, first of all, after entering the class, my first response, my first is to have a keen and sharp observations. What type of students are here, whether they able to communicate properly or not, and before that, whether they are having the ability to listen carefully or not, with a full concentration, they are giving full concentration or not. So these are the assessment, pre-assessment, pre-workout I need to do before I go into final. Okay, what will happen? Then I can find it out, the my knowledge, my skills, and performance, where I need to give more stress on this. Okay, where are the areas that I need to give more stress on this? This is the call, the first designing of the training program. That is, you need to make your assessment very carefully. And now, what is the assessment? Assessment means your knowledge, the skills, and the performance that you will going to deliver in front of the employees to upgrade their skill, knowledge, and performance, to train. Then the next one is the objectives of the learning. The next one is the objectives of the learning. Okay, what is the objectives of the learning? What will be the outcome after the end of this session? What the participants will going to achieve, whether they understood the lecture or not, whether they understood the methods of training or not. Be specific in their training materials or the equipments or the assessment or the notes or whatever the things online, offline, whatever the things I am using it, whether they are well equipped with all these things. Okay, I need to observe the measure outcome of it. I need to see the objectivities of my motto of giving the training to the students. If my objectivity is not clear, that the final result or the final consequences will be this much, will be this, if that is not clear, then what will happen? The outcome from the or the feedback or the response from the student will all go in vain. Okay, so first you need to do the assessment. Next, you should be have a clear learning objectivities. Third one is development of the content, how to design the relevant training materials that effectively address the learning object. See, for example, nowadays the concept of knowledge, the concept of teaching has completely changed. During after Corona, see, this change has been occurred, maybe to some part or to some regions the changes have come. But if we see the what you can say, if you see the scenario, whole scenario is changing, then it comes after Corona only. The way of teaching, the way of designing, the way of the platforms that are being created to teach the students is completely changed. After all, a faculty or a teacher or a trainer need to have a relevant training materials. Okay, understood? Otherwise, I'm going to give you a say, for example, now I am taking your online MBA class of Unit 4 paper. That is training process or designing process. Now, see, look, it is very easy for me just go through the books, prepare the notes, and deliver a lecture to my students. But nowadays, it is not sufficient. Whatever the contents you are saying or whatever the contents you are teaching to your students, you need to share the same contents to my student to the students also. So that the students can see the same contents that I am teaching and the same contents that I'm sharing with my students. Then only the things will go. So before that, I need to make a setup of it. How? I need to have a laptop. Ma'am will going to share the link. I share the PPT with ma'am. Ma'am will going to share PPT to both of us, to the student also and to the faculty also. Apart from that, I need a microphone, a good quality microphone. I need to have a good quality speed internet connection. Okay. I need to have a very good quality cameras. With all these equipments and methods that I am utilizing, that will going to work very effectively, and the address towards the student regarding the training will be a very good mark, will be a very good, you can see a very good result of it. Okay, so in designing a training program, one of the most important part is development of a content. You need to prepare a content. Nowadays, I have already told you in my earlier classes of all that nowadays the teaching methodology has already completely changed. There is a projector, there is a smart TVs, smart classes are there. You need to carry a pen drive, notebooks, just in your pocket. You need to carry a pen drive. Everything, whatever the contents you are having, whatever the contents you need to teach your students, all the content should be at your pen drive. Just insert the pen drive in your, what you can say, smart TV, and through that you can have your online classes, through smart classes, through projectors you can show the PPTs. So this is one of the most important part, that is you need to have a very good effective training materials. Then only the classes or the trainings that you are training the employees, that will show a very good result. Okay, so third point is very very important, the training development or the content development. And the last one is delivery method, such as lectures, workshop, stimulations, online learning platforms. These are the delivery methods through which you can share your knowledge, through which you can share your ideas, your views, your performances, your skills. Okay, through lectures, through proper workshop, say for example 45 minutes of a workshop or 1 hour of a workshop, then stimulations, a positive response from the students, both way of communication. Then some online platforms, as if the class is now going on, this is an online platform, classes going on, a very healthy way of sharing ideas, sharing knowledge to the students. So this is a designing a training program. You need to have an assessment, you need to have a learning objectives, you need to have a content development, and you need to have a very good delivery methods. These four, the combination of this four will going to create a good training program. Please go to the next slide, ma'am. Okay, now training program design basics. Now, in this PPT, in this slide, I will going to I have shared as per the knowledge, but apart from this, lot of things are there. See, a kid is running, a child is running, okay, with a lot of more enthusiasm, lot of more happiness in his face. Look at the picture. The picture speaks more. So if I need to train this particular kid, what I you need to do, I need to go through all the process that I have told in you in my earlier slides. First of all, I need to observe this candidate students, or I need to observe this child, what type of child he is. Look at his enthusiasmness, look at his sharing moments, look at how he is full of energy he is, look how he is running, look at his face. From the face itself is recognized that he is trying to grab something more that I'm going to share. So in during the base training program designing basic, you need to understand the principle, the method, and integration of the trainings. Okay, these are the three important components of designing the basics of a training program. Your first of all, the principles, after that the methods, and the integration. Now, what is the adult learning principle? Now, this adult learning principle will going to share the experiences, the motivations, and the learning style. See, one thing, everyone, every means trainers, teachers, or a faculty have a different styles of teaching. Okay, some of them teach means according to their merit. Teaching is a, what you can say, is an art. Teaching is not an easy job, it's an art. For 45 to 50 minutes or 1 hour class, you need to teach the student in such a way that they never going to feel that the class is boring for 1 hour. Okay, that is a technique, that is a skill, that is a style. Now some faculties are there or teachers are there who doesn't feel that the ambience of or what the child need or what the students need, they teach according to their own way. Okay, without interfering in the matter whether the kids or children understand the class or not. They come down to the class, started to have a lectures, whether you understood or not, that is not their concern. Okay, after completing the class, they take the attendance and go out, go away. This is another way of learning method, but it doesn't mean that the teacher is have doesn't have any knowledge. Okay, no, it's completely wrong. He has the knowledge, but the style is different. So in adult learning principle, the basic training they give is to experience the learning styles, change the learning style, how you need to motivate the childrens, how you need to motivate the trainers. This is the most important part you need to understand. How I need to motivate, how I need to experienced, what my experience I need to share with my children, with my students. Okay, so in adult learners, this experiences, motivations, and learning style are the key points. Remember one thing, Okay, you may going to get the question that what are the principles of adult learning. Then you need to write it basically based on three keys. Number one is experience. One of the most important thing, experience. Remember one thing, very much important, experience. If you doesn't have any experience in teaching, then you can't teach any students. You doesn't know the nerve of the class, you doesn't fail to know the nerve of the students. Okay, automatically the class is over. Nobody will going to turn up for the next class. Okay, that is why for teaching, experience is better. And in this profession only, teaching is only this profession, the more you experience, the more you age experience, the more you have the habit of growing knowledge. ये एक ऐसा फील्ड है, टीचिंग एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है जहां आप जितना एज्ड होंगे उतना ही आपका स्किल और बढ़ेगा, उतना ही आपका कॉम्पिटिटिव लेवल, उतना ही आपका लर्निंग स्टाइल और डेवलप होगा और शार्पन होगा। जहां पर एक वक्त के बाद रिटायरमेंट हो जाता है, लेकिन टीचिंग एक ऐसा प्रोफेशन है, आप जितना उम्र हो जाओगे आपका क्रेज उतना ही बढ़ेगा। बशर्ते ये है आपका एक्सपीरियंस होना चाहिए, यू हैव अ गुड मोटिवेशनल skills, and apart from that your learning style is something different from others. Okay, so this is the adult learning principles. Come to the next, assessment method. The same thing that I have told you in my earlier slide. Use formative and summative assessment to monitor progress and evaluate effectiveness. Formative means whatever the task you are giving to the children, or whatever the tasks you are giving to the employees during the training session, it should be with a proper information and a proper knowledge. And after sharing the knowledge, give them some task to do that. Okay, if this come out successful, then it is, the job is done, means your job is done, whatever you have teach 100%. As the same way in our school days, what the teachers used to do, after the class is over, what teacher used to give us the homework, and the next day this homework is being checked by the respective teacher of that particular subject. Now according to that, the teacher can understand the mindset of a student, that yes, this particular children or this particular student has attend my lecture, and he has, or he has, she has completely understand the lecture or understand the subject. So it should be formative. उसके बाद है summative. What is the meaning of summative? Summative means to summarize the whole thing. Okay, to summarize the whole thing, to summarize the every assessment. Summarize means you need to see their, check their skill, you need to check their knowledge, you need to check the gaps which are there, whether the gaps are being filled or not. This is called summative way. This is called summative way. The gaps which are being there, the gaps which are being not fulfilled properly, not filled properly, the gaps which are lacking behind, whether the gaps are being filled or not. This is called summative. Summative में पूरा आपको देखना है, knowledge, skill, and apart from that, the gaps which are being retaining there during the start of the training, you need to see those gaps are there or not, or whether the gaps are being filled or not. This is called summative assessment. And apart from that, there is another important feature of assessment method, that to monitor the progress. Now, how you will going to monitor the progress? Each and every time you need to check the students whether they understood or not. You need to check the employees or training the junior trainers or executive who are undergoing a training process. You need to check them, ask some questions, give them some task. If they come out successful, if they are doing the tasks very relevantly, then you can feel under, then you need to understood that okay, uh, my job is done. Okay, what the progress is there. And after that, you need to take some examinations, you need to conduct a test and evaluate the test, and on the basis of the evaluations, the result will be very effective. This is called assessment method. Last is technology integration. Technology integrations means to enhance the learning experience. ठीक है, stimulations or through online platforms. Technology integrations means the trainer need to integrate or need to change according to the change of the situation, according to the change of the period. Okay, means the training or the trainer also need to upgrade. If the trainer need to skilled more and more, if the trainer is skilled more and more, then he has the technology integrations and he have lot of chances to meet up the all the expectations that the management are expecting from you to deliver at the time of the trainings. This is called technology integration. Integrations means upgradations. You need to upgrade in technology also. Don't follow nowadays, don't follow the old technical chalk and board method. Okay, that is gone. Now you need to, if you want to engage the class fruitfully, if you want to engage this class means actively, if you feel that the employees or the students need to participate in the class actively, then you need to make the class or you need to make the sessions very fruitful. You need to make the station platform very what you can say, responsive one, very fruitful one, very what you can say, a splendid one. Then only you will find the attraction of that particular class from the students, and this can only be happen through technology integration. This can only be happen through technology integrations. Apart from that, there is no other way. Understood? So the training program design basically bases on adult learning principles, assessment method, and technology integrations. Okay, hope you understood. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Okay, considerations for the trainings. Now, look at this considerations for the training. For the training, what are the requirements? Okay, what are the things? What are the requirements and what are the considerations you need to do for the training? First of all, budget constraints, time constraints, location and logistic, diversity and incursions. These are the considerations for the training. Now, budget constraints, time constraints, location and logistic constraints, and diversity and incursions. So these are the four important considerations you need to keep in your mind before giving the trainings or before the start of the training. Budget constraints means use or allocate the resources properly. Considering the cost of the trainers, materials, facilities, each and everything, you need to make a budget of it. Say, for example, any engineering college wants to start a 5 days faculty development program. Now, first of all, the management will think about the budget. What are the how many speakers or how many trainers they are coming down for this 5 day faculty development program? From which city they are coming? Okay, what are means where I need to, where management will feel where they need to keep, what are the means facilities or ambiances or accommodations they will provide to the trainers, they will feel. Apart from that, for 5 days, what are the equipments I required, the management required? What is the materials that I require, the management will require, and what are the facilities they will going to provide both to the faculties and to the trainers? First of all, they will going to make a roughly budget of it. Okay, and after that they will going to go for the second point, that is time constraints. Now, what is this time constraint? Balancing the training durations. Okay, balancing the training duration with the availability of the participants and learning objectives. Now, say for example, you make a slot. Being a management, you make a slot that in this slot, it is compulsory for every executives to attend the training. Now, will it be possible? You cannot stop your work. You cannot stop your business. You cannot stop your work. So you need to prepare a slot that in this particular slot, 5 faculties will go and get trained. In the next slot, Again, 5 faculties to 6 faculties will go and train for 1 hour. The next slot, 3 slots or 2 slots will be there. Within this 2 slot or 3 slot, you need to engage as much as faculty, as much as trainers, participants, and try to provide as much as learning objectives or facilities to the work executives. Okay, so time is very important. Okay, time is very, very important. The first one is budget allocation, allocation of a budget or budget constraints. The next one is time constraint. The both are very, very important. Okay, the third one is locations and logistics. Okay, you need to, if you want to train your employees, you need to choose an appropriate location that can be easily accessible to the conducive and to the learners both. ओके इसीलिए लोकेशंस एंड लॉजिस्टिक्स का बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. यू नीड टू चूज एन अप्रोप्रिएट लोकेशंस. Say for example, I have already think the same thing has been repeated over here. Considerations for the training, I have already told you in my previous unit 2 slides. Okay, you need to say for example, now Tata Steel plant going to organize a training program. Okay, so lot of employees are there all over around the world. India, not only in India, around the world. I'm not talking about the world, I'm talking about India. Say for example, eastern region, Tata Steel plant want to train the eastern region employees. Now the management of the Tata Steel plant will going, first of all they will go for a budget, then they will go for the time, and the third one they will choose such a location that can easily be accessible to the regions, to the employees or the learners of the eastern region. Steel plant Tata will never ever going to choose any places which is not accessible to the maximum to the employees. So to get the benefit, Tata will, what the Tata will do, Tata will choose such a location so that maximum number of eastern region participants can participate in that particular location and get trained. This is the number one location objective. And the logistics means what are the materials, equipment, facilities, not about the facilities, what are the materials, transportations the management is going to provide it to the learners or to the executives. Okay, this is called locations and logistic. Then the last one is diversity and inclusion. Means the trainings is inclusive and accessible to all participants. Never ever thought what is the background of a trainers, what a background of a employees, or what a background of a learners, or what is the background of a learning style. You need to come out of all these things. Okay, that is why this diversity and inclusion is one of another important point you need to remember. Okay, so training, it is one of the most inclusive, accessible to the all participant. First of all, you need to remember one thing, that it should be accessible to all, everybody of us. And the next one is, don't go with the diversity. Okay, don't check the background whether this employee is suitable for not or not. Don't go with this. Okay, it should be something like that everybody will going to participate in the training and can get the train. This is the first priority of every management company to follow. So these are the considerations for the training. Number one is budget constraints. Number two is time constraints. Number three is location and logistics. Number four is diversity and inclusions. Hope you understand. These are the considerations for the training. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Okay. Now this is frivolous constraint. This is another frivolous constraint. What is this? It should be, the program should be addressed, tailored to specific challenges and faced by the participant, such as tight deadline, limited resources, complex work environment. By acknowledging these constraints and providing practical solutions, the training can be more relevant and impactful. So, what does this heading means? Fibrous constraints. Management should feel that they shouldn't give their trainings executives a trainings in a challenging positions, or participant must not face any constraint. Okay, they shouldn't face any tight deadline. There shouldn't be any limited resources that half of the training been done, remaining training is not over, is over. It cannot be done because of the limited resources. This cannot be. Or don't give the participants a complex work environment. These are some fibrous constraint. Okay, challenges, deadline, limited resources, and complex work environment. Okay, always remember that if you are the management, if trying to give the executives training, then they should keep this fibrous constraint a distance, aloof. Then only the training can become more relevant and impactful. ठीक है, अगर आप ट्रेनिंग के दौरान ये सारी प्रॉब्लम्स आप क्रिएट करते हो, मैनेजमेंट अगर क्रिएट करता है, तब वो ट्रेनिंग सक्सेसफुल नहीं हो पाता है. से फॉर एग्जाम्पल, every time the management, say for I'm going to give you some example. Okay, I have seen in this that during our faculty development program, the management pushing the trainers to complete as early as possible, as early as possible. So there is classes are there, the the faculties need to engage the classes. Okay, so try to complete as early as possible. It is now lunchtime. I am giving the example. It is now lunchtime. Please, we'll keep the session after the lunch. Okay, after the lunch is over, again, sir, please close the session because it's already 4. After 4:15, the faculties will go out. The faculties will leave this campus. Means it's छुट्टी हो गया. ठीक है. So if every time you make this complex situation, if you create this complex situation during the trainings, that the training will not going to be impactful. Okay, so keep this fibrous constraints aloof from the training. The management should keep this fibrous constraint aloof from the training. Then only the training can be successful. So if the question come, what are the fibrous constraint of training? Then remember, write down the answers. That is some specific challenges which is faced by the constraints and constraint faced by the challenge participant. Then tight deadline, limited resources, and complex work environments. Complex work environment. These are the 3 to 4 important factors are there which the management should feel that at the time of trainings, giving to the at the time of training to their executive, they must keep this constraint away from the means executive, so that this will going to create a relevant and impactful training. Okay, this is called fibrous constraint. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Now this is the last, I think. Okay, no, I don't know. This is the most important part. What are the 12 steps of for designing effective training program? What are the 12 steps? Steps. क्या क्या 12 steps हो सकता है? First of all, assessment, as I have told you. Then you need to have uh, uh, means budget allocations. Then you need to have what you can say, assessment, budget allocation, time constraint. This is another important. Effective training program. Then training delivery. This is another important part. Another important. Then feedback, which is another important part. Training delivery, training and feedback, evaluation of the feedback. This is another important part. ठीक है, तो इस तरह से हम अगर देखें तो ये जो इफेक्टिव ट्रेनिंग प्रोग्राम्स है ये सारा इंपॉर्टेंट है। ठीक है, और ये इफेक्टिव 12 इफेक्टिव स्टेप्स क्यों दिया गया है, इससे ज्यादा भी हो सकता है, लेकिन इसलिए दिया गया है कि ये 12 अगर आप फॉलो करते हो तो सबसे ज्यादा फायदा उस मैनेजमेंट को होगा जो ये ट्रेनिंग करवा रहे हैं। ठीक है, अगर बजट सही रहेगा, ठीक है, टाइम टू टाइम बजट एलोकेशंस अगर करते हैं एकदम प्रॉपर वे में, ठीक है, तो ये एक सबसे अच्छा, सबसे किफायती और सबसे हेल्पफुल तरीका होगा। ओके, so this 12 steps of for designing effective training programs are such as, first of all, you need to understand the need of assessment, clear learning objective, engaging the content, appropriate delivery methods, okay, incorporate adult learning principles, assessment methods, technology integration, budget constraints, time constraints, logistic location and logistic, diversity and inclusions, and challenges faced by the participant. And the last but not the least is feedback. Okay, ठीक है, तो these are the 12 S you can say, or these are the 12 steps for designing training effective program. So identify your need. As I have told you, company must understand the business unique goal and requirement, and according to the requirement they create a most effective training and development plan. This is the identify of the need. Then analyze the staff performance. Okay, this is another important part. Analyze the staff performance means the company must audit the performance level and employee feelings about their contributions to the company. Okay, so if the company feel or if the management feel that yes, my staff require a training, then the management should give the training to that particular staff. Then only management will can generate revenue more and more. Apart from that, set realistic goal. This is another. Set realistic goal means set goal. Okay, goals are always realistic. Okay, if you are setting any goal, that means realistic goal only, not fake goal. Okay, set goal means development and training of the program with the company's goal. Means here, according to this headline, it means that management should train the staff or employee or executive, keeping their mind the requirements in the management, now requirements in the company, कंपनी की जरूरत के मुताबिक आप अपने एम्प्लॉयज को ट्रेन कीजिए। ठीक है, दिस इज कॉल्ड रियलिस्टिक गोल और सेट गोल। देन क्रिएट और मेजर प्रोग्रेस। Then after giving the training, you need to measure the training programs, you need to check the development strategies, but not only that, you need to incorporate them in every step. Means you need to check them whether the training that you are giving it to the your employees, whether they come out successful or whether they have completely complete this the sorry the what you can say the training fruitful way or not. Okay, you need to measure the progress. Then comes to next is engage with your employee. What do you mean by engage with the employee? Means you need to understand the needs of the trainings of the employees. Okay, if you want to accelerate the company's, then you need to check the ability of the employees, you need to set the employees satisfaction. Okay, what the organization want, and according to that organization, if the employee is working and he is satisfied, then you feel that the company will go in a for a longer period. Then comes to the next is match training and development employees with the management goal. This one is another important. Means company should ask employee about their goal and listen to them. Okay, this one is another important part. Okay, company should listen to the employees, that what is your goal for your future, and listen to them patiently. Effective training strategies prioritize management and employee goals equally. Then next is create a formal programs. This one is another important part. Create a formal program. What is this? Now, effective training strategies are consistent and iterative to form goal setting to applications and measurement. Now, schedule time for training and development program, even if the topics are fluid, so that initiative to take it. Or you can understand this way, a formal approach is better than a training, in ad hoc training. A formal way of training is important rather than an ad hoc training. Ad hoc means part time. ठीक है? Formal means regular training, a regular development of the skill. The management should feel on that. Then start small, stay small. I have already said this thing in earlier, that rolling out a massive training and development program can be overwhelming and hard to maintain. So what is this you need to do? You need to take a small steps, and then stay for the small and look for a big. Because with us, if you're taking a small steps in every way, then what will happen? You will going to gain more and more profit for your near future. Okay, so it is very important point that stay small, start small, and after that step for a small and then go for a big. Okay, then provide various training types, such as you will going to give the lectures, on time job training, group discussions, games and quizzes, videos, stimulations. Means presenting realistic scenario. Stimulations का मतलब क्या, मैंने शायद पहले समझाया था. Presenting realistic scenarios presented in a safe environment. ठीक है, एक रियलिस्टिक सिनेरियोज देना पड़ेगा, ताकि आप एम्प्लॉयज कितना बेनिफिटेड हुआ है और उस काम को कैसे कर रहा है. यू नीड टू चेक इट फॉर दैट. Apart from that, the another one is set aside time for regular constructive feedback. This is another important part. You need to check the feedback for every time. Feedback is a critical part of effective training and development program. This one is very, very important. Okay, and according to this, you need to ask the employees about their experience, about their effective programs offer, which will be going to be helpful for insight and for the improvement and for the new training initiatives. Okay, this is the important. Feedback is very, very important for constructive work and for a constructive and regular work. Feedback is very, very important. And the last and another one is training and development strategies based on the employee feedback. Based on the employee feedback, you can develop more strategies, you can develop more feedback. If you are getting more feedback that yes, the training is fruitful, the training is successful, whatever the trainings the trainer has given to us is fruitful, we can bring out the more result out of it, then feel that yes, if the employee is giving you the positive feedback on the trainings, then you need to feel that yes, I need to continue more and more training, and I need to continue my employees giving more and more training. Okay, that is why this employees feedback is very, very important. Okay, and the last but not the least is measure the outcome. How are you going to measure the outcome? The final step is to measure the outcome from the young training and development strategies. How? After all, none of these tips are helpful if you don't know what impact they have made on your initiatives. Okay, means you need to, whatever the trainings you need given to your employees, according to the work and according to the necessity of or requirement of the work, you need to check whether the employees whom you have given the training can pull up this work or not. This is the way you can measure the outcome of the trainings. Okay, whether the workers or employees can pull this work or not, successful or not. Create such a situations, create such a situation, or give such a means work, give some work or such a work to the employees, so that can find out, yes, this particular work is fruitful for me, fruitful for this employee, and can this particular employee can pull up this work. Okay, so these are the 12 important steps for designing effective program. I am again recapitulating this particular 12 point. That is, first of all, is you need to be have a clear assessment, clear learning object, developing engaging content, select appropriate delivery method, incorporate learning principles, assessment method, technology integration, budget constraint, time constraint, location and logistic, diversity and inclusions, and challenges. And the last but not the least is feedback. These are the 12 important steps for designing effective training program. Hope you understood. Ma'am, please go to the next slide. Okay, this is the end of the slide. Okay, so क्या करे